Welcome to a new episode. We're building an LGB garden railway. Yes, dear Michael, today the sun shines for us. Isn't that great?
Summer is finally here. We could also call the episode, "We truly constructed a garden railway," because quite a lot has been created since the last episode. In fact, we finally got around to taking advantage of the sunlight and the nice temperatures to actually start working in the garden. And it all actually started a few episodes ago with this starter pack. I'll bring them up front again. Carry along exactly. That's what we started with, namely with an LGB starter pack which actually contains everything you need to get started. Essentially, namely the speed controller, the power supply, 12 individual round tracks that can be laid out as a circle. The beautiful locomotive was included with the 2 carriages, now already at the back of our station. We let ourselves be inspired.
And even steam oil.
Yes, you can allow them to smoke.
And it also says here what she can do, has light, sound, smoke.
It's suitable for all weather, utilized well by us. Now let's view this side, showcasing our progress. In fact, we actually used 2 additional sets. I'll show this here real quick. The very first expansion set we utilized came with a buffer stop, and once again, with several straight pieces, so we could quite nicely build a diversion track right here. This is the one on the side, seen here. We built those with the first expansion pack, set them up a bit differently now, but that doesn't matter. And the second expansion set that we received, that's this station pack here on the side. It ultimately complements these green tracks here, namely these 2 switches that we have here, and these many straight pieces again, these 2 curves here on the side, and above these 3 straight pieces. Have we built up in approximately such a way? We have given ourselves a bit of creative space with 2-3 other tracks, but roughly like that. And, oh, here again, we had also seen a little inspiration on the side. There was indeed a photo of a concrete pipe here. So you hopped into the hardware store and did a quick weightlifting session with those 2 pipes. They are heavy.
They are heavy, small ones are okay, large ones heavy.
We once bought 2 relatively small ones and carefully measured to ensure that they are precisely high enough for our locomotive to seamlessly fit underneath, with millimeter precision. This is now perhaps a recommendation. So honestly, we have also acquired a significantly bigger pipe, but we haven't set it up yet because it fits perfectly here now. But if the locomotive needs a bit more space, that's really precision work, what we have here, for the locomotive to get through. And Elke, you were diligent today. You have actually outdone the 2 sidings and the station track.
Yes, we have excelled at that. We also had another phone call with Andreas Franz from Hamburg yesterday. He gave us some great tips again. And indeed, after we dug them out, we then laid the stone in the basalt, respectively. Into the pebble with it, we were kindly given the insightful tip by Andreas Franz to secure an entirely empty conduit. This conduit runs along the entire rails under the stones, and in the conduit are the cables.
That was the spade with which we dug this out so deeply, about as deep as a shovel, about 20 centimeters. And with that, we again firmly patted the ground below. You can see that better here, for stability. Those were the lawn edging stones. And now there is a basalt layer or gravel layer under the lawn edging stone. And there we went down quite deep and then carefully placed this empty pipe into the basalt and gravel soil. And I can show that again briefly by opening up our track here once again on the side. I'll separate this here again, very briefly. Everything's still built so we can always make changes. Naked, so now it has opened up back there too, but whatever, we can do it together. Right here, you can hopefully see it displayed on the side. I have carefully led off 2 terminal blocks here directly from our ring main. This is actually the conventional connection set that is also included in the starter pack. On one side is the red wire and on the other side is the blue one, respectively. The blue-red wire, that's indeed a bit double, colorful, and they are securely clamped right here onto the rails. And when you normally connect it, it doesn't matter which color is on which side. However, if you work with a ring circuit and feed the power back in every few meters, about every 3 meters, as they say with LGB, so that you really have good juice everywhere, then you have to decide that the one color you choose is also on the same side throughout the entire system. So, if I happen to see the red wire on this side now, for example, and that would indeed be the inside, then the red wire must also be consistently laid inside throughout the entire system. Can also be seen at the back of the station area. So now it is also the case that on the side facing you, inside there would be a red cable, if I've connected everything right. That's the case. So this is lying here and will not be directly connected to the throttle controller hanging on the power supply, but it is in this small box, which I can close, so everything here can be weatherproof sealed later on. And now I've put in these triple clips. They are similar to Vago clamps. We've basically walked away, I must say. They are in the wrong color. It would have been better if we had also actually selected blue-red here now. We didn't do that now because I simply bought the wrong cable. In that respect, please stay in the correct colors. And then later on you also know what was what. I have labeled it here now. And here we now have the ring main securely installed. Additionally, we have also pre-planned cables for various other railway areas. In fact, right at this spot, we already have a decoupling track here, where this particular mechanism goes up so that the locomotive driving over it leaves the wagons on the siding. You can also switch that electrically with this control panel behind you on the side, Elke. Indeed, still half connected. Then we have a signal up front here. There is a second signal standing back there. We will get to that in further episodes with signals and switches. We naturally want to switch those electrically as well. And of course we need cables laid out accordingly. So, that's precisely why everything is already meticulously placed here in this seemingly empty conduit, functioning as a ring circuit all the way around, without exception. While I close this up, could you say a bit about what we should do with the remaining basalt?
Exactly, indeed, since we still have a small amount left over. It looks very, very good between the tracks. And quite simply, just by showcasing it now, here fitting nicely into the gaps. Exactly, and then Michael also told me, I didn't know that yet, he's already sticking. Stays forever, right?
Before you do that now, wait, I need to quickly connect here on the side. Maybe you started on the other side. Let's quickly do it again down here, it's not bad. It steps into the grass, or rather will then become a beautiful gravel embankment. Exactly, then we'll pull this forward now. Yes, we now need to slowly take a test drive, because what we're doing here is the theory of theory. Of course, what truly matters is whether the train is currently running or not. And indeed, that is actually the principal piece of work that still lies ahead of us. So, no, wait a moment. I'm just closing the circle and then we'll get started right away. Everything I've just talked about, or what you've talked about, we've also described again in the description text under this video and linked. So if you now say I would like to replicate that exactly, or I have my own ideas, then you will also find the item numbers in the description text under this video, control panel, and so on and so forth. We will discuss in more detail in the upcoming episodes when we also precisely set up the signals and switch them. Or rather, I can at the very least show it a bit as a brief preview already. The switch here is indeed already connected and ready. So, but if you like, you can already go over to the throttle control. We have also repackaged that one. He now has a little house back there. Is it waterproof? Well, not waterproof, but at least weatherproof. Oh, weatherproof. Yes, sorry. At least he doesn't mind if it rains. So, he also got a little house. So, it's actually driving. Honestly, everything is truly connected. Let's see if it runs, shall we? Yea, indeed, the very first round. Maiden voyage, a noteworthy beginning. Now I'm curious to see how many millimeters of space we still have. Certainly that was indeed a precision job. Okay, understood. First round. There are also the kilometer signs, or perhaps the 100-meter signs, indicating precisely how much distance is still remaining to the signal. Are you really truly giving it your all? Now you can refill the steam distillate so that it smokes nicely too.
I filled that in. If you have, it must heat up first. Exactly, but then it steams.
Indeed, very good. So now you could certainly stop at the train station. Yes? Because then I'll show again up front what we've already done here. Here is actually the cable for the ring circuit for this small control panel here. And that's already glowing green on the side. I hope it can be seen. Otherwise, it's a bit bright here. And if I press here, then I can also completely switch the turnout over here via the control panel without any complications. And of course, we can show again what exactly we have done here. So Elke, you're ballasting? Yes. I believe we need another 2 or 3 sacks of that salt. By the way, since we're dealing with the cables here again that are still hanging out loosely, we can of course nicely install them later as well. Back there you can still see a nice little lantern. And precisely, the green lantern back there by the quaint little house. I'm going over there. That's supposed to light up later, of course. And of course, just as we have done now with all the other cables, we could also branch off a pipe here from our ring circuit and could also transfer all the electricity necessary for the lighting over here, to illuminate houses, lanterns, and also perhaps into this small shed here once again. We could indeed install a small light in this telephone shed. So we still have quite a lot open now. With our ring main, there we can work really nicely indeed. And maybe we'll put our T-pieces, our rail connectors back, because the locomotive has quite a pull, and when it goes full throttle it might push the rails apart again. That's why we connect them correctly. Yes, indeed. I believe there are quite a few things there that you can replicate. That certainly didn't take long at all, did it? I firmly believe you didn't skimp on the digging effort either, which is truly commendable. It has saved 14 chairs to noose. Exactly. Okay, then a preview of the next episode. What are we doing in the next episodes? We will build turnouts, or rather we will explain the turnout drives and the circuitry, how it works, so that one could switch them via the control panel. Here we demonstrate the signals, illustrating how to properly connect these signals, ensuring they can also be efficiently switched and operated via the control panel, without any issues. And then, we'll embark on an intriguing journey into the digital realm, because of course, you can now also seamlessly control the LGB train digitally. That would now be the analog control. And what is then possible, we will tell a few episodes later. Have fun rebuilding, first up to this step, and I believe you've set sights on something. But it's fun, yes, it's lots of fun.
Macht sehr Spaß.